We have Sonia Sotomayor, and it's a great thing that she was confirmed, that she's going to be confirmed, but she was confirmed in committee today, overwhelmingly. It was 13-6. One Republican, Lindsey Graham, who actually was frankly well versed on why he voted for her, and I sort of wish it was contagious in that room. But you had two senators, Chuck Grassley of Iowa and Orrin Hatch of Utah, who have both been in the Senate for, Chuck Grassley for about 30 years and Orrin Hatch for a bit more, have never once ever voted against a Supreme Court nominee. And they're choosing Sonia Sotomayor as the one they're going to vote against, as if she is so out of the mainstream, and the things she was saying are so different from any other judge about interpreting the Constitution. It's really offensive. But what I do like about it, analytically, is that when, if they've never done it before, and this is the one time they're doing it, Obama is most certainly, I would imagine, going to get another shot at nominating a judge. It would be interesting to see if they do it again twice, because I can't imagine that they would, and they're sort of setting a standard here. And I know that they're trying to pressure the White House and trying to presage how they're going to behave the next time around, and maybe I'm being too generous, but I do think that this is actually good in the long term. They didn't need the votes in the Senate, and Sotomayor will certainly be confirmed. But let's listen to the eloquent, if not always enchanting, Chuck Grassley. JR, let's play number 2, video number 2. This is Chuck Grassley, the Republican from Iowa.
Well, let me play a little bit more of what your colleague Senator Graham said, because he has a very different view, and you couldn't exactly call him, a raving liberal. He said, I'm not worried about my path of least resistance politically. I'm worried about the future of the judiciary. I don't know how you could say she's not qualified for the job. Her record is long and deep. It's left of center, but within the mainstream. Her speeches disturb me, but I'm not going to make the judgment based on a speech. I'm going to look at her actual record. What's wrong with looking at her record, not her speeches?
Well, I looked at her record as well as her speeches, and I think that as I look at that record, I don't find the respect for the constitutional right to private property. I don't find the respect for the fundamental right of owning a gun that's already been defined by the Supreme Court as a federal right. I find fault with a lot of decisions she made, that she has not made an in-depth justification for those decisions. And one of those was a personal property case where I think she cited the Kelo Supreme Court case in Connecticut wrong, and then the rationale behind the Rishi case, the New Haven policeman case, recently overturned by the Supreme Court. And then you got to remember that 8 out of 10 of her cases that have been gone to the Supreme Court have been overturned by the Supreme Court, and in one other one they expressed outright disagreement with her, even though they affirmed the decision. So I think there's enough evidence.
Let's stop the madness with Chuck Grassley here. Grassley's pointing to the fact that he doesn't see the judicial respect that Sotomayor has for the Constitution, which is pretty absurd, because he apparently in the last 30 years saw that from Antonin Scalia, saw that from Clarence Thomas, saw that from presumably Robert Bork, saw that from Sam Alito, saw that from John Roberts. He has continued to see it, but somehow this woman seemed so far out of the mainstream for Chuck Grassley that he couldn't vote for her in committee, and of course won't vote for her on the Senate floor either. And then he points to the fact that 8 out of her 10 cases that were referred to the Supreme Court were overturned by the Supreme Court. What he doesn't mention to the people is that having only 10 cases go from the appeals court to the Supreme Court is not unusual, and it's a low number. And 8 out of the 10 were upheld, were overturned. That's not surprising. They were appealed and they were overturned. That doesn't speak to the judgment that she used. What about the 97% of her cases? And I'm guessing at that number. Let's be generous. Let's be conservative and say 74% of her cases that were not sent to the Supreme Court and were not overturned because they were sound judicial rulings. I mean, there's no way to understand the way these people operate other than to say is they've created this little cabal in the Senate that's deciding they don't want to do anything that Obama wants, that does not want any of the bipartisanship. They're looking at a judge with great respect, with a great record, with a history of having been by all accounts a fair-minded jurist, and they're saying we're going to get rid of her. We're not going not gonna have her be a part of our Supreme Court. Well, they can't do it now because they're so outnumbered in the Senate, they're so outnumbered in committee, and the people like Chuck Grassley and Orrin Hatch eventually will be put out to pasture. And it's for silliness like this, in my opinion.
Watch more clips at theyoungturks.com.